In STEM City by your side, we'll touch the sky. Students lifting students, hand in hand, together we rise, together we stand. From every we rise, together we stand. From every corner, from far and wide, our talents merge, our futures tied. In science, tech, and all the arts, we find our way, we play our parts, reach for the stars, for the stars.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Moria, your BEYA Stars and Stripes STEM Career Day Student Ambassador. Today's Career Day is sponsored by Lockheed Martin, the leading aerospace and defense company. We would like to thank Lockheed Martin for continuing to support our program. Today's guest is Dr. Latitia McCane, a BEYA Award winner this year for her work at the Apprentice School as the Director of Education. For over 100 years, this school has helped students become shipbuilders, and she is instrumental in helping them stay competitive. But before we learn about her fascinating journey, let me bring up my fellow student ambassador, Dominic, to share his thoughts on today's opening topic, productive fun. Hi, Dominic.
Hey Moria, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. Hello everyone, I'm Dominic Allegretti, a college student and cybersecurity expert, and today we'll be discussing productive fun. We'd like to invite our viewers to participate in the chat below. What are ways you turn your fun activities into productive experiences, whether that be financially, academically, or just educationally? We would love to hear. And as I begin our conversation today, Maria, I wanted to ask this first question. What's one hobby or activity you enjoy doing outside of school? It doesn't have to be STEM related, just something that is fun and that brings you joy.
Well, I like to doodle sometimes, and I like to, in my free time, I like to sit in the library and listen to music and research stuff on ChatGPT. That's what I like to do. What about you?
I'm definitely the same. I kind of like to just stay to myself a good amount of times, but another hobby that I feel that I've started to pick back up again is roller skating. I specifically like rollerblade. For those that know the movie like Roll Bounce, that's like a movie that inspired me to like roller skate. So I just go outside in my neighborhood and just skate around the neighborhood with music on my head, and it helps just clear my mind and relieve stress in any way. And I kind of just like being by myself in that aspect.
I love that movie Roll Bounce.
Yeah, it was good with Bow Wow and a few other people. That was definitely a good movie that I enjoyed watching. For the next question, I wanted to ask because I know we're talking about productive fun, and it's good to have fun at times, but we also, like it said, need to be productive. So, have you ever found a way to turn something fun into something useful, like a creative idea or a way to make money or just even a school project?
Well, for me, I, like I said, I like to doodle. So for my class last semester, African American literature, I had to do a presentation for this book we were reading called
Mhm.
Beloved. And so I read the book and then I made a collage about it. And I got I got applause for my work. So, um, yeah, I like making collages and I like doodling and all that. So that skill came in handy when I made my collage because a collage is like mixed media art. So
Right.
I enjoyed that, and I got an A. I got 100.
Good job. That's great work. I feel sometimes the thing you just start doing for fun ends up becoming one of like your biggest tools for your growth. And I'm pretty sure you're probably consistent with drawing and arts and crafts and things like that. And we all know that when you're consistent with things, it helps you get to the next level. At least for me, when it comes to like an example of doing something fun, I would say the example that I have was creating content. I grew up around computers, and my dad was also in video production and had his own like camera company and different things like that. So naturally, I picked up on what he was doing, and I used to just make content for fun, whether it be just with my siblings on YouTube or even in like my own digital media class in high school. I can remember going through high school and sometimes classes being boring, but I look forward to that digital media class the most. But over time, as I've grown, like as a person and in my own tech career, and with encouragement from mentors and my father, I started posting and creating more of my own personal content. And even though I haven't made money from it yet, I feel posting content has definitely changed my life and has allowed me to tell my story and has opened many doors for me, whether that's finding my first cybersecurity role, meeting mentors, or even doing like speaking engagements at conferences. So I would definitely say that fun activity at first has come a long way.
That's very cool. Like how you said you grew up around cameras, and so you use that knowledge, and so now you're using it to apply it to your own career. That's really cool.
Yeah,
Really
it's
smart.
definitely came in handy. I could count on so many times where I was like, thank the Lord, I just took that basic editing class and now I know how to do it and I'm not here like struggling. So it's definitely come in handy, has its own benefits for it.
And so I'll ask this question. Is there something you do just for fun that helps you feel more focused and relaxed in life?
Yeah, I guess I could say I'm a little bit boring, but or I guess different in a sense. I like actually like working out. I think for me, working out and staying active is fun to me. I don't really look at it as a punishment. I look at it as something that I enjoy to do. And the way that I feel like after a good workout definitely carries into everything else that I do. It helps keep my mind clear and helps me stay focused. And, when it comes to the working out part, and honestly, you don't really have to do anything crazy intense. It could be something as simple as stretching, going for a walk, or even, doing yoga. It's just finding something that helps your mind slow down. And with me, working out does that. What would you say is that specific thing for you, Moria?
Well, I wasn't gonna exactly say what you said, but since you said it, I agree. Um, I do think that working out it helps take your mind off things. Like it helps you
Mm.
take your mind off things, and surprisingly, when you get done, you feel good. You feel productive. You feel like wow, I went to the gym, and it when you're first starting out going to the gym, you don't really want to go. You're like, ugh, why am I going to the gym? But then when you leave, you feel stronger, you feel more energized, and it definitely helps with your mindset. It helps you focus on your schoolwork or whatever you need to do. So I definitely agree with what you said.
Yeah, and to touch on another thing, it definitely ties into the mindset part. Like when you do start first at the gym, you may be afraid or to take that step, but it all starts with just trying and going. And yes, you may not be the strongest in the beginning, but once you put that consistent reps in over time, then you'll start to see a difference, and then that mindset can then transfer into other things. That's definitely something I've learned just in life period, where you may be doing an activity and that activity may not directly translate to something that you're passionate about or something that you're doing, but the habits and the qualities that you learn from that specific thing can definitely transfer over. So that's a good point too, Maria.
What's one piece of advice you'd give to students that who want to enjoy their free time but like also want to stay on track with their goals?
Yeah, this is a big one. I feel like in the day and age of social media, everybody gets distracted. So we definitely have to do our best to stay productive. I feel it all comes down to just time management, planning, and then knowing like what you're willing to sacrifice. There's always a time to lock in, as they say, and a time to relax. So the key is kind of knowing when to do each. you don't have to give up like fun, but you do have to prioritize things. If you know that you want to get to the next level, whether that's, hey, I want to earn a sports scholarship to go play in college, or hey, I want to be able to get this degree or invest a specific amount, you have to prioritize the things that are going to help get you there. Sometimes it'll be hard, and sometimes you want to have fun, but at the end of the day, you have to look at yourself and be like, is this going to benefit my future, me, and the family that I hope to um, create. And then another thing that kind of helps me or is a little bit more practical to give some actual advice when it comes to staying on track. I feel what's helped me is using a whiteboard and just writing out my week, not just like the big stuff, but also like my small daily goals and just the things that I need to get done. You can also use a calendar, whether that's like a physical calendar or something like a Calendly or a Google Calendar to stay organized, or even just something as simple as making a task list on your phone. When you put all the things that you need to do into perspective and you actually understand it, it allows you to better allocate your time and be able to get your time back. What about you?
Well, when you said about being productive and like basically I was thinking about the quote, do it for your future self. Like you're not doing it for the present you. You're doing what you have to do for so that your future self can be happy. So I agree with that. And then also when you said you write stuff on the whiteboard, I almost do the same thing. I
Hmm.
have a notes app on my phone and on my iPad, and I just write everything I have to do out on paper, and it makes it not look so overwhelming on paper, because sometimes when it's all in your head it's like all chaotic and everything, but when you put it on paper it's right there. You say, oh, it's not as many things as I thought it was, and then it makes it easier and less overwhelming for you to do your tasks. So
Right, for sure. I think it just depends on kind of what you specialize in and what works for you. Some people like whiteboards, like myself. Some people like the notes app, like you. So definitely do trial and error and see what actually works for you.
exactly.
And yeah.
Well, thank you everyone for your insights and openness to having these kinds of discussions. I certainly found this conversation quite fun and productive. Viewers, I hope we've given you something to think about, and we thank you for your participation. Now, here's here's Dominic with today's special guest, Dr. Latitia McCane.
Hello again. With me today is a 2025 BEYA awardee, Dr. Latitia McCane. Thank you for being on Career Day today, Dr. McCane. Could you please tell us more about your story?
Good morning, Dominique. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing well. I love to roller skate as well. So when you said roller skating, I'm like, well, hey, that's my guy.
Yes,
Um,
there it is.
I run the apprentice school. It is owned and operated by Newport News Shipbuilding, a division of HII. As a matter of fact, in year 99, they hired me as the first woman and African American to run the school in 99 years. And so to be able to celebrate my seventh year as the president of this college is actually a great experience. We are a Division III college. We are owned and operated by a Fortune 400 company, but we award associate's degrees in about 26 programs. We are also have 7 athletic programs. Yes, I have a football team. So in October, you can see me cheering on the sideline for our football team. We have men and women's basketball. We have golf. We have baseball. We have men and women's wrestling. Wrestling is actually our wrestling team, women's wrestling team, is actually our newest sports team. So I'm excited to have this conversation with you guys today and introduce to you who I am and how I got to be where I am leading the apprentice school. And so I'm glad to be a trailblazer, awarded the Trailblazer Award by BEYA this year. And so, just to tell you a little bit about who I am, I started out as a research chemist. I started out in chemical manufacturing, but how did I get to chemical manufacturing? I'm one of those sports people. I grew up in sports. I love sports, and so yeah. So if you would, let's just pull the slides up so we can start moving. And so I started out in sports. And what's so great about being an athlete is being an athlete actually taught me how to, I would say, play with others, be a leader. And those are the kind of things that you actually get when um, play sports. And so, a little bit about my background. I received full scholarships to attend majority of my universities. As a matter of fact, I was so excited when I graduated in 1986, and I received a full scholarship to Alabama State University. I am from Alabama. I was born and raised in Alabama, and so it was actually. The Alabama State stood up what we call a minority biomedical research program, and they were seeking applicants to be in their inaugural program for chemistry. They had a research program in biology, but they were looking for students who were interested in being a part of chemistry. And so I was one of the first students to actually do research in chemistry, in biochemistry at Alabama State University. That led me to Texas Southern University, where I received a master's degree. And actually, Raman Haas, Texas, is a chemical company that paid for my research in organic chemistry. And then I got a full fellowship to the University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa, where I earned, I worked on my PhD in organic chemistry. And then I went back to school once I started being promoted to Jackson State University in higher education. So I've been in higher education for over 25 years. Some of my biggest challenges that I've experienced in STEM is being the only woman. So I have something that I call the restroom test. When I started out in chemical manufacturing, I was the only woman in my research group. And so there were so many men in the building. They would go to their restroom, but I was the only woman that would visit my restroom. And it was amazing, but it took years for me to start seeing more women in the workplace. And now I'm seeing more and more women in the workplace. But I've been a lot of firsts. I was the first woman to do research in chemistry at Alabama State. I was the first woman to run a campus at a small community college in Alabama. I was the first woman to be second in command to a president at a large community college in Alabama. And I'm the first woman to run the apprentice school. So when you're trailblazing, a lot of times you have to be that first. And when you're that first, you make a lot of mistakes, but you also get a chance to be innovative and courageous. And so those are the types of things that I've experienced over my career. And because I've experienced being the first, I'm always sensitive to hiring and what I need to do as far as helping women, especially in large manufacturing companies. So I started out in chemical manufacturing. Then I went to higher ed. Now I'm back in manufacturing where we build ships. And so it's pretty amazing to be able to vacillate between both worlds. And this job allows me to still be in academia, but also be in workforce development, because I really love workforce development, because at the end of the day, it's about helping people get jobs and earn and learn. And so that's what it's all about. One of the things that I am a huge proponent of is having a mentor. And so Dr. Ed Lowe, he's a former president of a community college in California, is my mentor. He's been my mentor for over 20 years. I remember walking into a conference and I asked him a question, and time was running out. He was like, I'll answer your question afterwards, just come up to me. And I was so excited because he's so very well known in the community college space. And so I got to meet him, and he's been my mentor, and he has mentored me from a faculty person in chemistry all the way up to actually leading my own institution like he was leading at the time that I met him. So I cannot stress the importance for all of you young people to ensure that you find yourself a good mentor, a mentor that can help you to reach the goal and aspiration that you desire. So it's amazing. I met him as a chemistry instructor, and I had that aspiration to become a college president, to lead an institution. And now here I am 20 plus years later at the space where he has actually mentored me to get to. So that's the power and importance of that. So what's a day in life for me is one of those things where I make sure, because I lead a group of people, I have a leadership team. And so my day always start with checking in with my leadership team, making sure that they understand what's actually going to go on for the day. And one of the best things about being a leader, because I am a chemistry person and a math person, I love the financial side of business. So it's very crucial as a leader to understand the fiscal responsibilities of leading a group of people. And one of the best things about being a part of about my day is that I get to help people grow their salaries. So it's pretty cool when I meet with people and I ask them, okay, what would you like to make? And of course, everybody's going to say, oh, I want to make six figures. And so I get a chance to help people grow their career and to be able to advance in their careers and to be fiscally, what I would say, comfortable in their lives and make the money that they choose to make. And so I check in with my faculty and staff. I get admissions update because we get about 3,000 applicants for, I would say we get about 3,000 applicants for 250 slots. So I'm always checking in on my admissions process. Pre-apprenticeship is our interaction with high school students. So I'm always checking in on that. I'm being briefed on that on a daily basis. And of course, I have athletics, so I have to be briefed on that. And so one of the things that I am really high on is employability skills. What are those skills that as young people, when you go out into the world to actually get a job and you're looking for a job, there are just some skills that you picked up that you learned at home that you bring into the workplace that you can't actually get through a degree. And so skill building is so important, and having those skills are important. So I think out of the list, this is my strength finder, but out of that list, I'm strategic because I have a STEM background. It's all about, for me, being strategic. And so as I move through my workspace and my life, I'm making sure that I have that strategy and I'm being very strategic. That's very important. And so how did I get into STEM career? Was basically, my dad worked at a chemical manufacturing company. I grew up around chemical manufacturing, and I said one day I was going to be a chemist. Also, I played sports. My basketball coach, my volleyball coach, they were my volleyball and my basketball coach. They were my math and science teacher. And so because I was always the, I don't know why, but I was always the captain of my sports team. And they were like, if you're going to be the captain of the team, you also have to be the captain inside of the classroom. You got to be the top student. And so they helped me to strive to be excellent in math and science. And so guess what? I was the leader in class, and I was the leader outside of the class. And so that's how I got into STEM. And so that's just a little bit about who I am. I can go on and on, but I'm excited at this point to kind of answer your questions. If you have any questions for me, I will be more than happy to answer those questions.
Thank you so much for sharing, Dr. McCane. We'll take a quick commercial break, then my fellow ambassadors and I will ask you questions about your presentation.
All right, thank you.
I work at Lockheed Martin as a cybersecurity systems engineer, and I've been at Lockheed for 19 years. The role of cybersecurity engineering has a tremendous impact on the mission to deliver secure systems to our customers. I have 3 children. My kids are the center of my universe. I would not be able to continue working effectively as a working parent if it had not been for the flexibility in our work schedule and the flexibility of our leaders to help me exercise a flexible work schedule. One of the reasons why I've been at Lockheed Martin for 19 years is because I think the culture and the values that we demonstrate really reflect my own personal values. Performing with excellence, acting with integrity, those are steadfast values that we talk about day to day. I have seen great changes in the diversity within our company. 19 years ago, there weren't a whole lot of women in leadership, so the few that we had were highly coveted. Today, I'm proud to say that we see quite a few women in leadership roles. The advice that I would provide to young women and girls who are interested in STEM is go for it. You can do it. Don't let anyone stop you.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Joining me are Dr. Latitia McCane and Maria to begin our Q&A session. I'll take the chance to start it off. I had seen in your presentation that you had joined the apprentice school in 1999 and not only became the first female, but first African-American female to lead the Department of Education for that school. I feel like that's a huge accomplishment. And I'm also sure that it came with some challenges. And you also had mentioned in your presentation about being the first in a lot of things. What is a piece of advice you would give to young people who feel like they are the first or maybe the only one in the room, whether it be because of their background, race, or even of their story? And how could you also give some advice on them being able to lead and really make an impact and change?
So absolutely, I would say there's no perfect organization, and so with all of the young people that's listening to this, you are STEM majors, and so you are the type of people that know how to be strategic. So always come in, assess the environment, look at what the weaknesses are, do a SWOT analysis, determine the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and then implement and move towards implementation of and take advantage of some of the opportunities that you actually see and find, and fix some things because no organization is perfect. So find some things that you can fix. And if you can get some small wins, that is the place to start. And also get to know your environment. It's always important to know who's working around you, how you can partner and relate and build those relationships is my advice.
Perfect. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing that. Maria, did you want to ask a question next?
Yes, I did. So you said basically read the room when you go into these rooms. What's one of the best traits that you have that got you where you are today?
I would say that I'm political. In every environment, there's politics. I study before I actually walk into the room to know who's going to be in the room and the important people that's in the room that I need to meet. I make sure that I'm intentional and I go up to them and I meet them because that's very important. I don't sit in the corner. I work the room. I familiarize myself with the environment. And I'm always in the back of my mind thinking, what do I want to accomplish from being in this environment? And I always have a goal to accomplish. And so always walk into a room with a goal, knowing what it is you want to accomplish, and then make sure you meet the right people. So if I walk into the room and there's a governor of a state and a senator in the state, and then you got a whole bunch of other people, I make sure that I meet the governor first, and then I go and meet the senator.
That's very smart. It's funny because the other day I was actually talking with my friend about intentionality, and I was telling her that you have to come intentional with certain relationships and everything. Like, what do you want? Where are we going with this? Etc. So it's really smart that you study the people before you go in cold. Like, it's not smart to go in cold or anything like that.
No.
Yes. What's one lesson from your past that you'll always carry with you?
I just wrote a book, and it's giving daughters a competitive edge. And it's about how do you balance family and career. And so one of the and I give over 100 pieces of advices in my book, especially for women. And then I also have some dynamic women who have actually broken the glass ceiling as well. I interview 5 of them and their daughters as well to kind of give more women insight. So my piece of advice is that you can have a family and a career. They can grow simultaneously, and that you have the power to be able to do both and do both very well. And so that's my advice that I would like to leave with all of the next generation of leaders that's coming behind me, that you can actually do both.
That's great advice. I wanted to shift the conversation to about students because I feel like it's all about the next generation, paving things forward and being able to lead it better than you found it. I feel like a lot of students today are told to follow their passion, but at the same time, they're kind of under pressure to be practical, especially with AI and all these other things, and worried about being replaced, things of that nature. My question to you is how do you guide kind of your students or just young people to find that balance between doing what they enjoy, but then also building something that is sustainable or something I like to say non-disposable? That makes sense.
Well, I actually think that following your passion will help you to make money. So I was one of those moms that did not pressure my children to do what I wanted them to do. I wanted them to pursue their gifts and their talents, because all of us are born with gifts and talents. And just because you go and earn a degree in something, that may not be your gift or your talent. I mean, and so find that balance between what you're majoring in and your gifts and your talents. And if you find that balance, it helps you to make money, you know. Money will come to you when you are passionate about something, and my passion is to make sure that young people can have access to college at an affordable cost. All of my students come to our school. We pay their tuition, books, fees, and we give them $23 an hour just to be here to study. And
Wow.
so to be able to help young people not have that college debt, because I went to college 9 years straight. Why am I passionate about it? I went to college 9 years straight with no debt. I was paid to go to college when I walked in my freshman year. And so because I got that 9 years, no debt, and I was paid to go to college, that's what I like to pay forward. That's my passion. So and I tell my daughters, and especially if buy the book, it's on Amazon, that it's all about going after your passion, and money will chase you down when you follow your passion.
Wow. Wow, that's some solid advice. My grandma was actually telling me this like a month ago when I was thinking about like my major and whatever. She said, "Don't worry about it too hard. Like, if you're doing something you're passionate about and you're working hard, you will get that money." But what would you say to someone who's scared of taking that risk? Who's like, "Meh, maybe I should just go for like being a doctor, engineer to get that money."
So I think that in every whatever you choose to major in, be entrepreneurial. Have an entrepreneurial spirit, because a lot of times we're chasing what people say a salary is instead of setting our own salaries. Set your own salary, whatever that is. And I ask people when I hire people, and I'm like, how much money do you want to make? And they think it's a crazy question. And some people say, well, I want to make $100,000. And I say, okay, well, right now you're sitting at 60. So that means that I have the ability to help you to grow, to reach to that 40,000, to ensure that you're making 100,000. So I give them a timeline. I say, okay, give me 4 years and I'm going to grow you to $100,000. And so you've got to set some goals for yourself, and don't be afraid. Yeah, you may not major in something STEM to get you to that $100,000, but to see my communications, my daughter majoring in communications, earned a degree in communications, walked out of college at 19 and walked into a $50,000 job with a communications degree. She was making sort of almost at a level if someone was walking out. What 19-year-old is making $50,000? You just don't know that, right? So those are the kind of things. Go after your dream, and believe me, be entrepreneurial. And if you're entrepreneurial, you will actually get to the salaries that you desire.
That makes a lot of sense. And I wanted to ask during your presentation, does the apprentice school offer financial literacy classes?
Absolutely. Yeah. Financial literacy is very important. We have wraparound services. We have support services for your mental health. We have support services for buying your first house. We have services for ensuring that you know how to invest your money. So we make sure that that students have it all. And I know we're running out of time, and I just want to give a final word. Go purchase my book. It's on Amazon. You get a lot of tips, a lot of things that I'm talking about today. I walk you through how to be an entrepreneur, how to start your own business. I walk you through how to navigate your professional spaces. And I walk you through how to find funding to make sure that you don't have that debt when you graduate from college. So thank you for having me today. And if there's not any more questions, I'm going to sign off.
Well, I just wanted to add, I love your hair. Like it's giving Vivica Fox from Who Can Play That Game.
So to be honest with you, my youngest daughter is in Japan, and we did a podcast together around my new book. And she was like, "Mom, I think you need to get a different hair color." And so I will tell her when I talk to her that you gave me a compliment on this new hair color that I never would have tried.
Oh, wow. Well, it was lovely talking to
Mhm.
you.
Same here. Thank you, Dominique and Maria. Enjoy your day.
No
You
problem.
too.
And this concludes our questions for today. Many thanks to Dr. McCane for sharing her insights and talents with us today. Please stay tuned for commercials in our next segment, STEM Spotlight.
Calling all future STEM pioneers, leaders, and career champions. Join us on every second Saturday of the month for the BEYA Career Day. BEYA STEM Career Day is all about creating opportunities for students to venture into the world of STEM through the eyes of professionals. You'll meet mentors and presenters that will give you a sneak peek into the many options available to you in the field of STEM. Hosted by teen ambassadors, you'll find yourself among inspiring peers just like yourself that are aiming high for their future. To take part in the BEYA STEM Career Day on Zoom, visit fullstemahead.us and register for the next session. Again, that's fullstemahead.us. BEYA, becoming everything you are.
A world of careers unleashed. You can get it at BEYA. Become everything you are.
Welcome back. I'm Dominic.
And I'm Moria. And today we're going to tell you about this month's inventor, Dr. Tahira Reed Smith.
Growing up in the Bronx, New York, Tahira Reed Smith grew up jumping rope with her friends. She learned how to double dutch jump rope, a technique using two ropes moving in opposite directions. To play, you need at least 3 people, 2 to spin the ropes and 1 to jump. She then imagined a machine that could spin the ropes for her so she could play even when her friends weren't around or busy.
When she went to college at the Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, RPI in New York, Reed Smith took an engineer design class that challenged her to test the limits in sports and recreational activities. This led to a prototype blueprint of her automated double Dutch machine and many improvements by her senior year as a mechanical engineering major. She went on to patent the invention and received a grant in 1998 to cover the cost of creating a real model.
After receiving her undergrad and master's degree in engineering from RPI, Reed Smith earned her doctorate degree at Purdue University in design science, where she focused on mechanical engineering and psychology and became an associate professor of mechanical engineering. She is also the director of the Reed Lab at Purdue. It's a funny coincidence that she shares her last name with the lab. It stands for Research and Engineering and Interdisciplinary Design Lab.
In 2003, Dr. Reed Smith received the second patent for the automated double Dutch machine, which included safety enhancements like a rope release, a better control system for changing speed and difficulty, and added functions for use in professional settings like a fitness center or for competitive team practice.
Dr. Reed Smith's invention came from her passion and love of double Dutch. She was a competitive performer during her earlier school days, and her invention is currently used and promoted by the National Double Dutch League.
Through her company, Jump Dreams Incorporated, Dr. Reed Smith promotes her invention, mechanical engineering, and fitness. She is modernizing a long-standing tradition and passing down her experience as a STEM inventor to the next generation of children. Double Dutch has come a long way from its early days using clotheslines, and Dr. Reed Smith is directly responsible for increasing its popularity today. Thank you, Dr. Smith.
We hope you enjoyed learning about today's featured inventor, Tahira Reed Smith, and her highly successful path through STEM. She is the epitome of productive fun, using her strong STEM background and her passion for jumping rope to create an invention and a company to fulfill her dreams. While you watch this next commercial, think of someone you think would be a great candidate for a STEM spotlight and share their name with us in the chat below.
What if you could build your own city? A place where every child can find nurturing people to help them achieve their full potential. A place where every adult can access job training support. Where health education is abundant. Where social justice ruled the land. A place without limitations. Welcome. You have arrived at STEM City, USA. It is what every city should be. A safe and trusted community where you find people and resources to help you become everything you are and beyond. STEM City is unlike anything you have ever experienced. It is a digital twin of the world around you, only better. STEM City is about energy and soul renewal. It is more than a digital world. You can almost feel the power of live cultural events, music, and theater. STEM City promises a better future for children with caring mentors and hands-on activities with dedicated tutors to support our youth. STEM City is your passport to a healthy lifestyle with weekly events addressing our community's many issues. STEM City is your financial well-being with helpful information on wealth management, career advancement, job training, and so much more. STEM City is the community you deserve. It is the city where your dreams can come true. STEM City USA, a place in the sky that is accessible to all who reach for the stars.
And that was STEM City USA, our 2D metaverse. Today we talked about endurance, how we persevere in the face of adversity, and move ourselves forward even when we're facing challenges. If you want to hear more about historical leaders in STEM and how they endured tremendous odds of success, visit and explore Colin AI, the AI-powered library in STEM City, USA. You can interact with our archives and ask questions to locate primary sources from decades of different media and work. Don't forget to visit stemcityusa.com and enter the Education and Discovery building and enter the library to sign up for your digital library card. It's that easy. Next, we'll hear from one of our original student ambassadors, Celia Hurst. She will tell us about a skill we can develop to help make this time a productive summer.
Hi everyone, I'm Celia Hurst, your BEYA Stars and Stripes Student Ambassador, and today we're diving into a topic that might seem a bit intimidating, but it is absolutely crucial: networking. Now I know what you might be thinking. Networking? As a student, isn't that for like fancy corporate events? And while yes, it is for those too, networking actually starts right here, right now, in your everyday student life. Think about it. Your classmates are your future colleagues, collaborators, and even potential employers. Your professors have incredible industry insights and connections. Even that alumni event you've been skipping? Prime network territory. Why is it so important? Well, for starters, it opens doors. You might hear about an internship opportunity before it's even advertised, get a referral for your dream job, or find a mentor who can guide you through your career path. It's not just about getting something though, it's about building genuine relationships. Think of it like planting seeds. The more connections you make, the more seeds you plant. Some might grow into amazing opportunities, others might just be great friendships, but every single one adds to your garden of possibilities. So, how do you even start? It's simpler than you think. Start small. Say hello to someone new in your class. Ask a professor about their research. Be genuine. Don't just collect business cards. Ask thoughtful questions, listen actively, and find common ground. Follow up. A quick thank you email after a helpful conversation goes a long way. Utilize campus resources, career services, student organizations, and even networking events that your college hosts. Remember, networking isn't just about being an extrovert or having a polished elevator pitch right off the bat. It's about being open, curious, and willing to connect with people. You never know where a casual conversation might lead. So, next time you're on campus, look around. See who you can connect with. Your future self will thank you. That's all for today's Campus Connections. I'm Celia Hurst, and I'll catch you next time.
Thank you, Celia, for sharing your insights and helping students have a productive summer. We'll close out today's show with our Career Day anchor, Moria Bowman.
Thank you. And thank you to all who joined us for Career Day. We appreciate your insights in the chat and your opinions and questions. We hope that the planning and foresight put into this episode was evident and showed how STEM can be important to your own life. Thank you to our Career Day speaker, Dr. Latitia McCane, for joining us today and sharing her experiences and insights. Please remember to visit stemcityusa.com for more BEYA STEM Career Day segments. We would also like to give a very special thanks to our BEYA STEM Career Day sponsor, Lockheed Martin. They are known for their groundbreaking work in aerospace, arms, defense, information security, and technology around the world. Please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and join us for the next Career Day on August 9th, 2025, where we'll feature even more STEM professionals, college students, and high school standouts. I'm ready to explore new STEM careers with you. So we'll see you next time. This is Moria Bowman signing off.
Every day at Lockheed Martin, we are creating the future. When did I decide to become an engineer? Where I grew up in my village, we had a lot of interaction with nature. So I was always fascinated by the flight of the hummingbird. Seeing this marvelous aerodynamics of the hummingbird gave me this general idea that I wanted to be working on the ability to control things that flew. I've had this long running curiosity, I still do today, of asking the question, why is this the way it is? Are there ways to improve what it does? And in fact, those are the same questions we ask every day at Lockheed Martin. That's why my colleagues come to work saying, this is great, we've done all these great things, we've built all these great systems, how could we make it better? And how can we make it better together? Lockheed Martin's engineers and scientists are at the forefront of innovation. Everything from AI and machine learning to hypersonics to directed energy. Individually, all these are really critical capabilities that we need to develop. To actually deliver something ahead of ready to our customers, it takes pulling these pieces together into an overall mission capability. What we are doing here matters to our nation, to our nation's security.
From every corner